Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on today's episode of Entrepreneurial Truth. On today's show, we have Dr. Robb Kelly, and let me tell you, this episode is going to be jam packed and full of information. Dr. Kelly, please let our listeners know what you do, who you serve.
Hi guys, my name's Dr. Robb Kelly. I have a PhD in behavioral science and a PhD in psychology. I've been in my industry about 30 years with over 10,000 patients. And we started off helping alcoholics and addicts with the neuroscience around the disease because nobody knew what it was. And what we found over the years is the program that we have serves entrepreneurs, people who want to better themselves, people who want to start empires and stuff like this. So we teach neuroscience, epigenetics, and behavioral science to absolutely go from here to here every time. Now listen to this, guys. We have a 98% success rate. And we offer a money back guarantee if we don't get you to where you need to be. So all excited, we use 9D breathwork therapy, we use brain spotting, we use NLP, we use SE, we use all the tools. And most of it, 90% is telehealth, which means online. So yeah, I mean, we're excited what we do. I always say, Kesi, that I love what I do because I do what I love. And that is helping people, whether you suffer from any psych disorders, depression, stuff like that, or whether you want to change the world and build an empire. We're the guys. We remap brains. We redirect subconscious brains and connect conscious brains because everything really happens today, not tomorrow. 3 parts of the brain reset every 24 hours. So today's the day, and we're gonna go through that and teach you guys how to do that. I got 3 tricks at the end that I'm going to tell you that'll change your life, and we can go out there and change the world.
Oh, listen, I'm so excited. It's hard for me to contain my excitement, right? So I'm chomping at the bits. You're an entrepreneur and you're on your second round of business, right? And let's say, for example, something traumatic happened to you, right? And you're now in your new business, you're at it for years, and you need to be able to move forward, grow your business, but you realize that your income is steadily let's say, for example, you're not growing beyond $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month in your business, no matter how hard you try, right?
Yes.
But prior to that, you were able to grow, but you're stuck, and because of this trauma. Can you get into that for me and help our listeners identify some of the things they should be looking for within themselves to be able to move past that?
So most entrepreneurs I've worked with, and a lot of them are on stages and conferences. You see these guys that everyone looks up to has probably been through this business, and all the movie stars and musicians and stuff who's got their stuff together have all been through this company. So it's called capped out. When we reach a certain point in our business or relationships and we seem to cap out and we can't go any further, it's not the product, it's not the way you run business, it's a psychological defect that caps you out at a certain amount. The science behind this is what's called part of the brain is the basal ganglia. So the basal ganglia is a repetition, strength, and confirms part of our thinking. So if a pilot needs 10,000 hours in the air, the basal ganglia around 10,000 for the thing. Once they've learned it, it becomes a working part of the mind. Now, here's where childhood trauma comes in. It's not what you think it is, childhood trauma. It's not a big accident. It's not a plane crash. It's not a divorce. It goes way deeper than that. So everything that's happening here where you're failing correlate here, period. Never known it the place in 30 years of being in this industry. Always. So what happens with the basal ganglia, if you can imagine a clock face, guys. So we start a business at 12 o'clock, 10 after we get our first contract, 20 after the hour, we sign that first $50,000 check. 1/2 we get another contract for 10 grand, 22, we're on our way now. And at 10 to, we self-sabotage that. So we cap out. We'll only go as far as our parents and our people around us tell us we can go. So you're hanging around guys on 50 grand, very unlikely to go above 50 grand. So the show me your friends, I'll show you your future in the neuroscience world is the people we hang around with are the people that we will mirror image. Hang around a guy that earns 100 grand, you will start earning 100 grand. It's the mirroring part of the brain. It's all the science behind building an empire. We never say build a business. Anybody can start a business, website, $10 off GoDaddy, some cards or Vistaprint, I have a business. Nah, so what? You know, so if you're on 100 grand, let's say you're on, make it realistic, let's say you're on 20 grand a month and you think you're doing well, why can't you earn 30? And that question is silenced every time. Give me one reason, I tell entrepreneurs, well, if you're doing 20, why can't you earn 30? Well, no, give me a reason. Well, it's an excuse. Give me a reason. Because back in the day, somebody's told us, you'll never be good enough. You'll never do this, 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 this. And the image we get behind that going forward is I'm never going to be blonde enough, tall enough, rich enough, or thin enough. That's what we carry forward. So the cap out comes from here. So we need to lift that cap and really push it out. Look, if you're selling houses, there's plenty of houses out there. There's no such thing as a recession when you're in business. People will tell you there's a recession. Everybody has money, okay? Especially retired people or people that are doing well in business. Don't be afraid of that recession. So why aren't you selling the houses that the friend next door is selling 10 houses a month? Why aren't you doing it? It's not the houses, guys. It's not the business. It's the way you think about the business and the trauma around that you psychologically, you walk away from it. Just at 10 to the hour, we walk away. We can't do any more. We tried our best because you are self-sabotaging that going forward in business and you're capping out at like, most people walk around about 45% of the capability and capacity. In business, we probably get to 50% and we're capped because of this back here. If you don't clear that up, you will never be the 100 grand a month guy. You just never will. Like I say, it's not the business. It's not the business that you're in. It's a psychological, using neuroscience, reason why you keep failing.
Ooh. Now, let me ask you, how long does it typically take on average to clear that using your methods?
Depending what kind of trauma you have, of course, you will, when you work with me, you will see a difference after a 1 hour session. You'll see a difference in going forward. Yeah, you can actually, we build the future for you on the first session. So usually it's anything from 1 month to 2 months to 3 months. So 90 days, you know, you're out of here, 1 hour a day on the computer, building your business, going forward, clearing all the stuff that's stopping you. So it's not as if it's a year deal or blah, blah, blah. It's like after one session, you will know what we're talking about and you'll be absolutely amazed of how powerful you really are. You'll be really amazed when you find out your true identity. Most people don't know their identity. We get this as women coming out of marriages. It was the guy's football team, the guy. When pull away, the woman has no identity of her own. So we need to build that identity. And once you find out how powerful the mind is, and now it's hijacked by the subconscious mind when we first wake up, that guy doesn't want you to go any further than 10 grand a month. And it will make sure. And the subconscious brain is constantly looking for something to go wrong, constantly based on all the trauma that's stored there. So that this becomes a comfort zone for outside business. You're not going to step forward. What we need to do first in the morning when this guy wakes us up, because he loves hypoxia situations, is a technique to get rid of that and spark the conscious brain off. This guy's doing 200 grand a month. Wow. This guy, there's no stopping this guy. But there's certain things during the day, obviously, that we need to do, but there's no stopping. There are multi-million-dollar businesses that are household names that I've worked with coming from nothing. You see, it's not the product. It's you that's capping yourself out.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. And how does it work for someone that has been diagnosed with ADD or, you know, ADHD? So they're saying, okay, fine, you know, it's an attention issue. Why I'm not getting to where I need to go, because I start working on something and then 2 seconds later, I'm thinking about this other thing that I need to get into. Is that the same?
Yeah, first of all, ADHD is not It's not a deficit, it's an overload. So that's what it is. So when we're around people that are not as quick as us, thinking fast, ADHD guys, I don't believe in the disease, to be honest with you. I think it was a pharmaceutical disease that was made up. Now you can argue against that, but 30 years of experience, and I write for Harvard University's McLean Hospital and all the other conferences I do, especially to the medical fraternity and business guys, is all based on this. So it's an overload. That's for your advantage. See, if you're doing stuff and never finishing stuff, which is a classic entrepreneur based on fear, okay, that you never go any further. You find your dad's done that, or somebody close to family starts something, never finishes, starts to decorate a room, it's there for months. You know, there's a 7.3 time frame with neural pathways that can either go no or yes. So the neural pathways, thought patterns come up. You have a 7.3 second before you take action or you leave it and very rarely go back to it. And that's the problem. The one over here, that's the bad guy, never do anything, again, is based on fear. It's based on trauma from the past. It's based on guilt. You know, I was guilty about coming when I was starting to become wealthy. I go to meetings. I used to go to meetings, and I would park my car well away from the meeting because I was embarrassed that I was driving a $200,000 car. And these guys wasn't, until I realized that I'm showing them how to do. See, I see so many things, so many people, Kesi, on stages, and saw this guy once, and you know, it was just absolutely crap what he was teaching. Want to be a millionaire, all that stuff. So I went my research. So I said to the guys, you know, how long have you been coming here? Oh, I've been watching it for 7 years now, 3 conferences. When do you think it's going to work? And you still don't. So I've seen where this guy lived. I have a detective agency that works for me. And I found out he lives in a rented apartment paying $1,200 a month. He has a car that's 10 years old. And I'm not knocking this. I was homeless, guys. I come from the projects. I wasn't born with a spoon in my mouth. I was homeless and died twice on the streets. You know, but when I watch this guy coming out and he's trying to teach this and he hasn't got it. Why are you allowing these guys to draw you into these conferences? If you're not a millionaire 6 to 12 months after your first conference, what the hell are you doing? I don't understand it. And these fakes are out there telling stuff. You know nothing about the real world. You know nothing about how the neuroscience. We're the only people in the world that have a 98% success rate. And the nearest one to us is 11%. It's just insane. Everything's attainable, guys. Everything's attainable. And if you want to really be freaked out, neural pathways, there are billions in the head, okay? 300 neural pathways die every day. What are you replacing them with? Are you replacing them with positive neural pathways to create that empire? Or is the trauma going round and round your head of never being any good, you'll never amount to anything, you lie, you cheat, you know, whatever it is? Because the subconscious brain loves that stuff. And just when you're going to sign that contract, ding, comes to the prefrontal cortex and tells you, you can't do this. This is too big for you. You can't do it. And we'll self-sabotage it.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. Now, let me ask you too. How does alcohol, right, play a role in rewiring the brain? So let's say, for example, someone is they drink frequently. They're not necessarily alcoholic, but they drink frequently. So they're working on themselves, but they like to have a good time at the same time. Does that affect the brain and how you take in the information? Let's say, for example, they're working with you for 90 days, right? On rewiring their brain. Does that affect it?
It does. It does, to be honest. I mean, any alcohol or anything like that is poison. So how much poison you're going to put inside? You know, it's a myth that brain cells die from over drinking alcohol. That's not true. There's neural pathways and cells that go grey because they're not used anymore psychologically. That's what's going on. So if you can drink as much as you want after you've made your first million, is what I tell people. But the less stuff we have in here. So there's a couple of things that stop us, okay? You've got to look at the food you eat. And 90% of food in America is plastic food. If you're pulling, everything is sprayed in cornstarch. If you're pulling something off the shelf and it has 9 grams of protein, 0 fat, turn it round. If the first ingredient is canola oil or sunflower oil, we can't methylate that. So here's what happens. I take a food or protein that's not real food. It's plastic food, GMO food. This affects the brain as well as the alcohol. So what happens is I start to eat it. Now, everything you take inside your body is not used in the form that you eat it. It's methylated into a form that we use, okay? So if I'm eating these plastic foods, the GMO, the rancid oils, I'm not methylating that. We're not supposed to methylate it. If we can't methylate, there becomes a deficiency. That deficiency is stopping you not only from improving, but it also causes cancers, heart disease, all this stuff, including the subconscious brain. And eventually it'll tell you not to do it. So we've really got to look at the food. Next thing we've got to look at is making sure you exercise. And this is all in. Next thing, limited alcohol, if you must. Most entrepreneurs I've worked quit for a year. And then when they get to the first million, they went back to a few glasses of wine. A glass of wine every single night is not good for your health. But despite what the medical doctors know, they know nothing about. I'm the leading authority in alcoholism and addiction and entrepreneurs and all that stuff. The leading authority. Okay. I'm the most paid doctor in Texas. I'm the highest paid doctor in Texas. Not the surgeons, me, a PhD. Because I know how this works. So limit your alcohol, make sure the other stuff is good. If you're taking vitamins for your health, make sure there's no, you got to turn it around. There's, what's it called? I can't remember the name, but you've got to make sure that the ingredients are cyanide, cobalamin, I can't remember the name. You haven't got cyanide. So there's all this stuff to look for that's affecting your mental health today. Most of the guys I've worked with don't drink. They don't, because when you stop putting poison and poisonous plastic food inside you, the body starts acting right. When you get the right oxygen inside you, we only breathe 45% of our lung capacity. The only reason you feel good going to the gym is not the weights. It's this in between sets. You're getting the oxygen in. When we get 100% oxygen, I'll show you this before we go, guys, into the system, it's a game changing. Fogginess goes, subconscious brain dies for that day, and the conscious brain comes in. You are open to all ideas that come your way. So here's the freak out part. Every single neural pathway, thought patterns you need to succeed are already in the brain. You just need to connect them. That's all you need. And that's what we do. We connect these things. Before it's like, well, I might do it, or fear. Well, I might anxiety. Well, I'm not good. And we never connect them neural pathways. When you start understanding the neuroscience that we take you through the program, we connect them neural pathways. And taking, if you're taking 20 grand a month, taking 40 is not that hard. It really isn't that hard. And people think it's like, it's not. So when they do our program, they go, oh my God, especially the 9D that we have. It's a new software. Oh my God, I feel amazing. I'm going to do great business. We say, no, you don't feel amazing. You feel normal.
Wow.
You should be feeling like this. You should be getting up every morning. You should not be working 14 hours a day. Oh, and this is the best one for entrepreneurs. Well, I sleep between 3 and 5 hours a night. Bullshit. Come back to me when you're 40 and you look 80. Don't let anybody tell you different. You need your sleep to repair. You need the exercise. You need the good food, to make sure that this is right. Sort the childhood trauma out. There's no stopping you. I guarantee it.
Ooh, what do you think about cold plunges?
So Gary Breckers, who's a friend of mine, he's the biohacker. We have patients together. And he's told me one day, he said, come around, we'll try one of these ice baths. My God, never again. Kesi, I'm supposed to get up 3 minutes, 45 seconds, I'm out of there. It's like, no. Now, it does, of course, is good for you because you're shocking the central nervous system, and the cold is good first thing in the morning, don't get me wrong. So it's kind of one of the red light therapy, plunges, sauna, all them things are great for you. You just have to find the one that's right for you. All of my body just went paralyzed and tingling. I mean, I literally couldn't stay and I couldn't really move my feet. So I had to get out. But red light therapy, it's just, all this stuff is great for you.
Ooh. Okay. So we have food. So coffee also falls somewhere in there, which is probably one of the most Like when you say addiction, I think we have a coffee addiction here.
So, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Coffee is not a stimulant.
Stop. What?
Everybody thinks it's a stimulant. I'll drink coffee to get the most out. You are kind of 40% right. Okay. So what coffee does, it slows the tiredness cells down. It does not, it's not a flipping stimulant. It does not give you energy. It slows the tired cells down so you feel more awake and alive. That's all it is. I've got no problems with drinking 2 or 3 cups a day. I mean, it doesn't give you any, and you think it does, man, but it doesn't. And of course, anything you take for a period of time, you kind of the body gets used to it. So when you try and come off coffee, and it all go, oh my god, I'm withdrawing. You're not really. Your body's changing for the next methylation to take place. So coffee's. I don't think it's an addiction. I mean, if you say coffee's an addiction, then you've got to say drinking water is addiction, or you've got to say that eating chicken on a Friday is an addiction, which I don't believe it is. So there's some good news for the coffee drinkers out there.
Oh, what is
It's
that?
not like the energy drinks you get. So the energy drinks, bad. No energy drink is good for you, okay? Especially after the crash. Leave that crap alone. Drink a couple of cups of coffee, everything in moderation, and you'll be good, man. So good news for the coffee drinkers.
Yeah, good news for the coffee drinkers. Love that. We always hear about it, but we're not quite sure because everybody has their own opinion on all these
Yes.
different things. That's why we're coming to the expert. Okay.
Yes.
What about routines, like morning routines, daily routines? Everyone's like, hey, listen, you have to wake up at this time. You need to be doing this at this time. What's your take? Are routines good or?
I'll tell you what, I have been in this industry for years and I've done 1,000, 2009. I don't know how many podcasts I've done. Nobody's ever asked that question. Your questions are amazing, Kesi. So, do we need a routine in our life? 100%. Do we need to get up at 4 p.m. and start your day? Hell no. Hey, do you want to get 4 o'clock and this is me time? Go do it, man. There's no beneficial signs or science behind that. So you get up whatever time you want, but there is a routine that you need to keep to. So first of all, I ask my patients to write down 5 things every morning when they rise that they're going to complete that day. And we start off easy: breakfast, lunch, dinner, walk, watch TV. And this is what happens to the brain is when we start checking them off, instead of looking to self-sabotage the brain, it's following a routine. Everything is a pattern. Self-sabotage is a pattern. Not being able to build your business is a self-destructive pattern. So we need to repattern the brain. And one of the things to do when you do that is to write the 5 things down. Now, if you only complete 4, shame on you. Go and work for Walmart. You're not going to do it. So it's being really strict with yourself. 5 easy ones, and as we go along week by week, make them harder and harder. You might do 1,000 tasks that day, but these 5 have to be done. And that's how we start the planning of one's day. Most entrepreneurs have no time management skills. I've seen entrepreneurs rushing into meetings 3 minutes past the hour. Well, you can't rush in at 1 minute past the hour. You're done. If I'm sending you to an appointment or you have an appointment for something, I'm there 30 minutes outside waiting or around the corner waiting, man. So the time management goes through the door, of course. So patterns are really, really important. Routines are really, really important. Now, they don't have to be strict. You don't have to get up and have eggs every morning at 7 o'clock. Not the point. But when the mind wanders, before you kick in the conscious brain, again, I'm going to show you how to do that. Don't forget the subconscious brain who wakes us up because there's no oxygen. Nobody's ever woke up laughing, lack of oxygen. If he wants to start the day and we pattern as we do in routine, there's a good chance after our breath work, mirror work, and teeth work that we tell our patients to do, the conscious brain is going to kick in and it's a whole new deal. But the conscious brain needs a limit, needs a pattern, needs a routine, needs oxygen, needs sleep to all perform at its best. And all of that is a pattern. Now, if you don't think, guys, for a second that you're in a pattern, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been on a bus somewhere to the coast or seaside or out to watch a comedian and there's like 20 guys on the bus, you go out, free drinks, everything's amazing. At the end of the night, when you get on the bus, which seat do you sit in? Usually the one you travel there in. That's a pattern, and there are millions of them you don't even know you're doing, but they need to break, and that routine will break that pattern.
Oh, Oh, I love that you said that. I love that you said that because a lot of us get up and we do the same things every single day without knowing. Okay, so let me ask you, for people that have um, kids, right? So you're an entrepreneur, you're running your business, you have kids, and you are always running to their beck and call and putting the business second. Is that also self-sabotage, or is that just putting the priority first? And if that's the case, is that where you should be?
I, for me, because I lost my kids for 30 years because of my alcoholism, it's always family first. So I've got God and then family first for business. But again, routine. If the kid something happens in the house and you've got to go, fine, that's all. But what I tell my guys to do who wants to build an empire is this. You get up at 8 o'clock, get the kids, send them off to school, or if they're little kids, you take them into the office. But when you walk into the home office, put your suit on or put your office clothes on and walk in there and sit down. Automatically, the psychological effect of you've just changed because of the attire you're wearing is the big winner. That's what it is. And if the child wants something great, family first. But you'll find once you get the routine, it'll all fall into place. All fall into place. So if you're a mom stuck in a one-bedroom apartment with 3 children, and the husband's left you, has been a no good guy, drug dealer, whatever it is, and and you think that's it, you're done. This is a crossroads, girl. I'm telling you, this is where you've got a laptop. If you're not, buy one. I can't say steal one, but make sure you get one. Go to what you can start your empire now. Look at J.K. Rowling.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody laughed at her. She had kids. She lived on council estates, which is the project in America. Everyone laughed. Everyone told her to pack it in. She didn't. She carried on with children, and she was the first billionaire author in the world. See, nothing can stop you unless you're homeless, and even then, you go to the library and start building an empire. It's just your limited belief. Stop putting the brakes on your imagination. Stop doing that stuff, guys. But yeah, it's amazing. See, what people that, I've got the children, they keep doing this, they keep screaming. You get to have children. You get to look after your children. Many people don't do that. They don't take them off like me. They took them off me. You get to start an empire today. You get to be a great mother. You get to provide for your children in any house or cars and everything you want. It's all going to come. Nobody can fail when they find out the secret of what's going on. So it's amazing how moms and single dads take in this after they've kind of, understand what we're talking about. It's like the circumstances are de minimis. It's
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. I was having that conversation with someone yesterday in terms of, you know, she's a single mom. She has kids. She's trying to grow a business on the side outside of her 9 to 5.
Brilliant.
And she has what you call I guess the fear limiters. So she doesn't want to leave her secure job because she's like, if anything should happen, but at the same time, her other business is flourishing and could take over the bills. But the fear is so much around her leaving. And her response to me is that it's not fear. It is the fact that she likes security. Can you get into that for me?
Security comes from comfort zones, comes from childhood trauma. I've got a message directed to her. You are never going to be ready. You're
Ooh.
never going to be ready. You never get rich for working for somebody else. Take the leap. You've already started. It's going pretty good. Now you've got full time and do it. See, when everything is taken away, you have the capacity to thrive. There was a guy came to us some years ago and failed businesses most of his life. Wife had left him, took the kids, and he come to us and we started chatting and we started seeing him. And I asked him one day, I said, "What are your hobbies?" And he said, "Oh, can't tell, you'll laugh." So I'm going to laugh. What are they? And I knit socks. So, well, that's cool. Why? He said, for family, birthdays and Christmas and stuff. I said, that's amazing. I'm going to buy you a website. And he was on a 9 to 5 job. I'm going to buy some business cards. And I want you to knit 3 pair of socks and sell them this month. So he did. I mean, he did. So that guy runs the huge sock company that when you buy one, they give one away. I can't mention it, but they're worth about 900 million right now. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. I mean, name, or can we not mention it? Give me a first name.
Wow. Wow, you're breaking up.
Oh, there
Can
you
you
go.
hear me?
We're back again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're never going to be ready. You have to start moving forward with the business you have. Nobody can stop you once you do. So what's her first name? Okay. So me and go to court. She brings all the evidence that she's going to fail, and I'll bring all the evidence that she's going to be a success. She's got 2 pieces of paper in front of her. I've got 45 boxes of papers behind me. The judge will throw you out of court for wasting his time. You've got to start thinking like a success, thinking like an entrepreneur, acting, eating, walking, thinking, everything to do with entrepreneur. Go that business, more hours. You're never going to be ready, girl. Never, ever. Just like we're never ready to have a baby. It just comes and you deal with it. You start to go full time. If you're taking more money than your daytime job, it's time to leave. If you're equaling, time to leave. If there's a $400 or $500 deficit at the end of the month, it's time to leave. It really is, and start your own deal. You will not fail if you have this. You need a few sessions with me. You need this, and you will succeed. You can't fail unless you're doing something silly. Like one day you get on Nick and go, do you know something? I need my 9 to 5. No, you do not. Who's put that in your head? Somewhere, somehow, somebody's put that in. You need a safe job. Well, I had a friend back in England many years ago, a comedian, but was also an architect during the day. And he got an offer to go down to London and audition for a huge television company for a program on TV, and he didn't go. He stuck by his safe job, and the guy that took it became a multimillionaire on the TV most nights, and he stuck with his safe job. 4 months after that show becomes successful, the job let him go. They were just closing time. So you might as well do something that you enjoy as do something that you don't and still be let go. You start building a business, girl. I'm telling you now. Come on for a few sessions with me. I will get you there in freaking hours, not days or weeks. When I show you who you are, what you are worth. Because people call me up all the time, Kesi, and they go, hey, I'm starting a practice, or I'm starting a consulting firm. How much should I charge an hour?
Oh,
It's always the same. How much are you worth? I don't, how much are you worth? And you think about it, and they go, well, $200 an hour. Brilliant. I think it's too much. How much are you worth? See, people forget the value. Time is value. Money and time and all that stuff is true, but you've got to value yourself. And I'll tell you something crazy. If you're, let's say, I don't know, contractor or a consultant, and you charge $100 per hour, your work might be okay. If you charge $200 an hour, your work will take off. Because $100 is not your worth, and everyone thinks you're just the same as everybody else. When people come to me and know my hourly charge, they go, oh my God, this guy must be good. But the mentality is still sticking low. Why are you working for people that are paying you nothing compared to what you can do? Like the electrician goes around to the house, like 2 minutes he's fixed it, it'll be $400. Oh my God, for 2 minutes work? No, that's 7 years at college you're paying for, and the knowledge from that college. You've got to value yourself. Everybody needs to value themselves.
oh,
And stick to what they know. Don't be decreasing yourself and your value for somebody who can't afford you. They're not your guys. They're not, man. It's just you've got to put yourself. If you charge $100, it's $100. The amount of time I've told my price to somebody or a parent, they're gone, so it's oh God, that's a lot. Yeah. Did you do any discounts? No. Well, you must do it. No. So that's telling them, oh my God, this guy's good. And I am. Let me tell you something, and this will be well, this will change your life, this story. So back in England, we've heard of this before, but we did our experiment back in the day. And in England, I went to a primary school, ages like, I don't know, 8 to 12. I know you don't call it that in America, but there's a 3 or 4 of us. 2 of my friends were scientists. I was in the mindset business, addiction and stuff. And we went to a schoolmaster who we knew. And we said, listen, we have a test, okay? It's 25 questions. If your children, if I was to come in and give it to your children, ages 7 to, I don't know, 11 or something, we'll tell you the 3 top geniuses in your school. And he went, that's not possible. We said, well, they've not fully developed. I mean, how can you do? Will you let us in, Johnny? He went, okay, I'll clear it with my board. You come back the next day. Yeah, they're interested. So we went down there. We give these 25 tests out to 25 of their kids. And we said, we'll be back tomorrow with our choices. We need to do some scientific work on it, put it in our stuff and, give it to our scientists. And he said, great. We went back the next day and we said, okay, headmaster, here's your top 3. Johnny Smith. Johnny? Yeah, Johnny's. Are you sure? Oh, yeah, Johnny Smith. Oh, okay. And then there's Bill. Wow, Bill, I never thought. No. And Tracy. God, that's weird. Oh, okay. We said, this is it. I'm telling you, we've done it hundreds of times. We hadn't. This was our first time. But I'm telling you, they're the 3, man. We'll be back in a year's time to see their progress. In a year's time, we went back and the headmaster was like, oh, my God, Rob. We need to take this to the government. How the hell did you know? The 3 are top of class. The 2 have had applications for college in already. The parents are absolutely mad. How did you know? What is this test? And we said, well, actually, headmaster, there wasn't a test. In actual fact, when we left the premises, we threw them in the trash can. He said, I don't understand. And so we come back with 3 random names that we picked out and told you they were geniuses. And because you treated them that way, so they become. It's the same thing with starting a business. Demand the respect, demand the money you need, and don't take any crap of anybody. And that's it. That's how easy the mind changes. If somebody treats you a $50 an hour person, you're always going to be that $50 an hour person. If you start charging because you're good at what you do and $250, your proper worth, people will start treating you like $250 worth of work an hour. It's all the mind and the brain and the patterns and the circuitry in the brain. It's unbelievable. And it works so many times. And it's very important who you hang around with. So based on that, who I hang around with, we did our test on that because we test and trial everything that I say. So we had 9 actors come into the waiting room out there and they were told, you have to kind of pretend you're patient, sit down, and we'll call you in one by one, but there's going to be a lady there that's a real patient. And she doesn't know it. We said, come in and get a free session with me. She's all excited. But what I'm going to do after 45 seconds will be a buzzer. What I want you to do, the actors, stand up. 3 seconds, sit down again. And I want you to continue to do that when we call you in one by one, as if you're patients. I want you to keep doing that. And they went, brilliant. The stage was set. All 9 actors were sat in the waiting room. So when the patient comes through, they're like, oh, there's a bit of a queue here, but I'm okay. There's a bit of a line, sat down. 9 people stood up. She's on her phone. She's like, looked up, and back to her phone again. They all sat down. Now her phone gets put in her lap and she's looking around. Everyone sat down again. The 3rd, she stood up with everybody else and she sat down with everybody else, which we knew kind of might happen. But what was really interesting, Kesi, is that as we call the actors, patients into the back office, she was the only person left in that waiting room. She stood up. So who you hang around is very important. Who you take advice of is very important. If they know the neuroscience behind it and the epigenetics behind it and everything that goes with it, the neuroplasticity behind it, then you're going to copy that image and you're going to stand up. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, yes. Yes.
You can't have anybody around you that's negative. You can't have anybody around you pass, hey, look, you're putting a bit of weight on there, Jimmy. No, I'm joking. Gone.
Love it.
There's 2 kinds of people in this world, Kesi. There's the people that love you for who you are, and there's some people that want to be you. Mm-hmm. See, everyone's jealous of what I have, but nobody's jealous how I got here. The price it took for me to get. Nobody's jealous about that. They don't want to know. They just want to criticize. So this is to your girl, okay? Nobody will ever negatively comment or criticize you that's doing as good as you or better. You only get the negative comments because they're jealous. They are not you. That's it. And once you realize that, when you realize you stop giving a shit about what people think, you're taken to a whole new dimension, I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because if you care about what people say, you're not going to put your business out there. You're not going to go on social media. You're going to be afraid.
Never. I'm out there. I'm loud and proud. Sometimes I'm almost aggressive with this business we have because we want you to succeed. You see, I don't want something from you. I want something for you. I don't want people to be as good as me. I want you to be better than me. I've got 4 successful businesses. I don't know. I'm 500,000 a month, maybe. I don't know. I don't deal with the finances. So you're not talking to some idiot that's on like 10 grand a month trying to tell you how to do this. Put your money where your mouth is. This is possible for you guys. You've got to start thinking empire, not business.
Ooh, walk me through what that mindset looks like. Walk me through what, how they say, okay, fine, you need to become an entrepreneur. You need to act like an entrepreneur. What is and what does a successful entrepreneur look like? Who is that person? Who are you modeling?
Well, we're first modeling to the guys that started, or the guys that earn 1 million but want to earn 2. So the first thing we do with clients that come in to change mindset is we play what we call a subliminal game. So this is how it works. What we do is let's say it's Johnny Smith that's coming in. You have to pass an assessment before we take you on. So during the assessment, when writing down, there's things like what's your favorite football club, your favorite actor, and all that stuff, favorite musician. And based on that information, if they pass it, we do like a psychological test with them. If they pass it, their first day's Monday. Now, I want to get into their head without them knowing I'm getting into their head. So what we do when he pulls into the car park outside, he gets out of his car, and let's say we've looked and he likes the Dallas Cowboys. There'll be a discarded can or cup in the hedge with the Dallas Cowboys in it. Now, he hasn't seen it, but he has seen it. He comes to the door. We let him in. We have secure premises. We sit him down. We've put a Dallas Cowboys picture up. When he comes into the office, there'll be a Dallas Cowboys pattern radio in the corner. So by the time he sits down, I got him. So I can repattern with subliminal words now. Now we've got him comfortable. Because if a United fan or a Dallas Cowboy fan meets a Dallas Cowboy in Spain, you're both instantly connected. Instantly, you become best friends. So that's the theory that we're going for. The other thing is word planting in their head, because nobody knows what an entrepreneur feels or looks like and acts like. So we have to hijack you to make you feel that way. But we can't tell you we're hijacking it, because the brain, especially the subconscious, will jump in and go, no, we're not taking that. It's true. It's not true. It's not true. I'm not good enough. So let's say we did a test once with a guy who came in, very affluent guy, and he used to go out every Friday night, and he loved fresh fish. So I go to a fish restaurant that serves, steak and everything else. But for the last 10 years, his wife said, he's had fish, trout, just loves trout and stuff. I said, okay, then. So we didn't tell anybody, but we brought him in, and I planted steak 3 times in his head. They went out that night to eat, and he ordered steak, and she called me and went, holy shit, what have you done to him? Subliminal message. So this is how subliminal word planting works. So if I say steak, you're going to concentrate on steak. Okay, you just told me steak. What we have to do is with the voice, as we go up and down and like this, and maybe, and as you become strong, you don't know what I've just said, but you've heard strong. So if I want to plant steak, or $1 million or whatever it is, I would lead into a conversation. So this is how we did it with him. So I'm going to say it, but you're not going to hear it subliminally. So as I start talking about different things, and me and the wife went out last night, and it was absolutely unbelievable, and we actually had steak. What, Johnny? She hated it. He hasn't heard steak, because the volume and the tone of the voice is risen. We're on alert with what I just told you, risen. We're not taking in this, but this sits in the subconscious brain. You go out, you're relaxing, bang, you're going to choose steak. That's a simplified way of doing it. And that's what we do with entrepreneurs. Again, once you start treating them like entrepreneurs, so they become. So all the mind games, all the changing, all the repatterning. Now, this is what we do. And again, this is the very clever what we do, is if you have a business taking 100 grand a year, but our idea is to take $1 million a year, then we get them individually. They sit in my car, and we drive to the Porsche dealership. And I sit them in a Porsche 911, Targa, whatever, that costs $200,000. Then I say to the guy, I want to take it for a test drive. And they know me. Yeah, sure, doctor, go out. There's the keys. So we take it for a test drive and we go back. We say thank you and we leave. Next thing, I take him to $1 million house in the hills that's for sale. And we want to walk around it. Everyone knows me. Of course you can, Rob. There's the keys. And we ride, just walking around this $1 million house. This is very important, guys. Listen carefully. And then we leave. So what happens when we start earning the money, the subconscious brain and the prefrontal cortex, which asks for information. So when you walk into a restaurant that's really posh, we start to hesitate a bit. So when he is almost ready to buy that car, or even when he gets the car and gets in it, the brain doesn't freak out and go, whoa, what are you doing here? This is not you. You're poor. The brain goes, I recognize this place. And then when he goes to buy the big house, the brain doesn't go, oh my God, it goes, I recognize this place. This feels comfortable. And that's how we do it.
Ooh, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, I'm gonna throw something out, right? So I went to a party this year with about 20 women. They're in a book club. And it was a vision board party. And we're creating visions for this year, 2025. And everybody's speaking about their vision of, where they want to go, their aspirations. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I'm going to present my board. And I said to them, hey, listen, my goal, right, eventually is I want to be able to hit about, like I would have said $62 billion. It was almost as if I said that I am going to be the prince of, a foreign country. It was the most random, abstract thing they had ever heard, that I wanted to or thought that I could make $62 billion. And the premise was, I was looking through a magazine and we were supposed to cut these things out of the magazine, right? About, and put it on our vision board while we're at the party. And for whatever reason, those numbers stuck out to me as something that I should put on my vision board. It was just instinctual. I looked at it, I was like, okay. And I cut it out. So I'm explaining to them, hey, listen, whatever software I'm working on, this is where I think it's going to be. And this is what I'd like to hit. And I just continued the conversation. They couldn't move past it. Question for you. These are all women that are highly successful, make probably millions a year, but that's so foreign to them. The question is this: why is it that I can look on it and not see that as an issue, and they even though they're successful, can't see that as something that is possible?
Great to have goals, but goals without action are just dreams. So
Correct.
if you've started something and you earn $1 million a year, everybody thinks you're doing amazing, fantastic, but you'll cap out of that. Because now it's like, wow, I've got $1 million. Now I can live on the hill and buy the car, and we get complacent with that $1 million a year. What you've seen is the true you about going in and right. We don't do this by mistake. It doesn't happen by mistake when we do stuff like this. It happens because the neuro-pathways in your head that I told you are already there is starting to come to fruition. And other people can't understand it. But I'm a millionaire and you're earning 100 grand a year, Kesi, and then you want to become a billionaire. I mean, that's just not possible. They can't even imagine. Well, go back to the girl that wrote Harry Potter, Rowling. Do you think other people around her, when she said she's going to become a billionaire, were freaked out? Of course they were. They can't even imagine that. Well, that's stupid. How can you imagine that? But the people that can imagine it and put it on a vision board like that with the confidence around it that's in the software business, there's no reason at all why it wouldn't happen. The only reason why it won't happen is because of you. You can sell anything to anybody, anywhere, anytime, as long as you've got a good business plan behind it. Look at the guy that I don't know what they call them, tubes that float in the water, stuff. Can you imagine somebody going to a business place and going, hey, I've got an idea for these things, or the slip and slide. I've got an idea, put the water in a plastic and you slip, okay? You're out of your mind, but you know what? They didn't know they were out of their mind. They knew they had an idea and they thought differently to everyone else. And they made millions and millions of dollars. They're different. to other people, just like you're different to other people. So what I would do if I was you with that is I'd start looking for multi-millionaires and billionaires and get on Facebook and follow the groups and all this stuff. Because, I mean, if you're listening right now, guys, and you go, well, that's just not possible, you're right. If you're thinking that's possible, you're right. Either way, it's going to happen one way or the other. But if you're coming from that conscious brain daily, there's no reason why it can't happen. And people are fearful of that, you know. They have a no. So my dad earns 60 grand a year. Okay. So I start to earn 250 grand a year. And I'm so proud and I've doubled my dad. But you get stuck there. You only have a $250,000 mind. You don't have $1 billion mind. And there's a huge difference. Nobody in their right mind who thinks like the normal person would dare put that on the board because of ridicule. But you did. And that means to me that you're different, just like me.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Boom, baby, boom.
Love it. Love it. Guys, I hope you're listening, taking notes. Okay, give us some top tips for these entrepreneurs that are listening. I know you said you came with some goods.
Okay, so let's remember, it's not the business, it's not the product, it's you. It's this the way you think. You can have all the energy in the world, if this is not working, you know. Let's go back to oxygen for a minute. Oxygen is vital. So we only breathe 45% of our lung capacity. I want you to get up tomorrow morning, and let me explain why. So during the normal circadian sleep pattern, 2 and 5 o'clock is when his body decides most repair. So it's low on oxygen while it's repairing, and 3 parts of the brain reset, and all that great stuff is happening. That's why we need 7 to 8 hours, if not more, a day. So when we wake up, we have no oxygen in it, or very little oxygen. Bing, the subconscious break wakes you up. I've got to do this, damn, I've got to take the kids to school. Well, first of all, you get to take kids to school, but the subconscious and lack of oxygen is not talking about that. He's talking about all the negative stuff. So get up tomorrow morning, guys, and I want you to do this. 3 things. First of all, before you do anything, I want you to sit on your bed. You've got to sit down. You'll go dizzy. And I want you to take 20 exaggerated breaths in and out as fast as you can. And it looks something like this. 20 times. Now we're flooding. Every single cell in the body is full of oxygen. So the brain is alive. The conscious brain kicks in. The body's ready to go. Your mind's alert. Now I want you to go into the bathroom. Let's break the patterns you do every single day. We get up, we do breakfast. Let's break that. Let's break that wide open tomorrow. If you brush your teeth with your right hand, and you used to do a week on the left, a week on the right, week on the left, and a week on the right for a month. Okay, that changes the patterns that are self-sabotaging away. Because now you've just built a neural pathway. So every time we do an action, we have to build a neural pathway for that. Okay, so you've just built several neural pathways around this, because this is you can do this in your dreams, but this is kind of difficult, you know. But you've got to do it, and we restart new neural pathways. Remember, 300 die every day. We're creating new patterns, new neural pathways. Then it's really important that you look in front of the mirror and say, "I love you" 10 times, because while we're changing them patterns, you're replacing the self-sabotage with "I love you." Now, there's a task to this. Never stand close up. So when you're putting your makeup on, girls or guys shave, do not do it then. Because when somebody get closer to the mirror, we see all our blemishes, okay? And we think that's how people see us. So we go out to the world thinking that they can see all the blemishes and marks, and you can't. You stand 6 feet away from the mirror and all the blemishes disappear. It's the way our optical nerves work in the eyes. And say, "I love you" from 6 feet away from the mirror. You're seeing something that's almost perfect. You walk out to the door, compliment 3 people every single day, and your life will change.
Ooh.
Now, I used to say to people, try it tomorrow, and if it doesn't work, I'll send you $100. I used to say that, but you get all the idiots that's not tried it. You know, they haven't, from all sorts of countries, like, you know, "I need $100. But I'm telling you, I'm guaranteeing, guys, it's a biological effect, man. It's what the body's meant for. It's like, it doesn't work. It's just like saying breathing doesn't keep you alive. You know, I mean, it's just, you know, it's crazy. Like I turn the stove on, the gas comes up. Well, do this, and this will happen. Do A and B and C will follow. It's not that complicated, guy. You don't have to spend your money in conferences. You may give conferences one day. Stop spending your money. These guys are not changing you. I've just changed your life in 1 hour.
Mm.
And
Say
yet
it
you've been going
again.
to these guys for 3 or 4 years. It's like, show me the money. If you're going to teach me something, I want to see a result from that. I mean, the little like 9%, 10% success rate. Can you imagine going for Kesi, can you imagine going for I don't know, knee surgery? And you're all getting ready, and the surgeon pops around and go, "Hey, I've got a 10% success rate. You okay with that?" You go, "No way! Are you kidding me?" But people do. People cling on to these ideas. If I just followed this guy, then up. No, no. Why is he holding a conference if he's a multimillionaire? Why not
Mm.
hold a free conference or a seminar to teach other people what to do? I mean, when you're a consultant going out there, charge what you want. But if you want to pass these on at conferences, you go to conferences, man, you know, you take away from there, you take no knowledge of becoming a millionaire. You take a course from
Mm.
them that you don't need, but you just paid $600 for, in the hope that one day you'll become a millionaire. You got more chance of that than me being Elton John.
Wow.
In the glasses, but apart from that,
No,
impossible, man.
it's so true. You go to a lot of conferences and you take advice from a lot of people, but there's so much noise and so much distraction and so many people out there that just don't have the right information. They don't.
And they sell that. They sell that negative misfortune lies. You know, I was working with a guy. He charges $100,000 an hour now. They're talking, but I was working on his presence and his stuff and his confidence. And you can tell when somebody walks on the stage. You can tell by the way they present themselves in the first 2.9 seconds. That's how much time we get to judge somebody or like somebody or dislike. You can tell the way they walk on the stage. I don't have to tell people that I'm worth shit because when I walk in the room, I own that room, whether that you like it or not. Now, I used to sit, now, this is the guy that was homeless who got bullied as a kid. I used to sit outside these rooms nervous as hell. And when I walked through the door, I used to ask myself, does anybody like me in here? Today, I kick that door open, I walk in and go, who the hell do I like in here today? It's all part of the mindset of owning stuff. Own you, own your mind, own your confidence, own your value. When you walk, and if you go into the restaurant, walk like a millionaire, man. Start thinking. Remember, the brain doesn't know the difference between the truth and the false. It really doesn't. So if you're walking around as 100 grand a year guy, guess what? Well, if you walk around earning 100 grand but acting like $1 million, guess what? The brain doesn't know. It's what we feed it every single day. Is what we feed it, man. Why do you think people are, you've got to, again, you've got to take that noise away, man. Well, how do you explain that? If you're, let's say Dallas Cowboys again, because they're easy to remember. So I've got the remote control, okay? I click Channel 4, Dallas Cowboys are playing, man. I'm almost in the stadium. I can feel it. Come on, now, go. I'm in the stadium. There's all the noise. Hey, can you do this? Not hearing her. Right? I'm there, but I'm not there. But the brain's telling me I'm there because I'm shouting at the screen, thinking it can hear me.
Mm-hmm.
So this is it. This is the game. Nothing else matters. This is it, man. I'm there with them. This is it. Then your kid picks up the remote control and flicks through 10 channels. All of a sudden, your mind's, it's like doing this. You go, what's that? What? So now you've got 10 or 12 channels that the kid's flicking through. Psychologically, in business, you've got to take the remote control back. You've got to put it channel 4 and keep it on channel 4 day in, day out. And you will start to become the successor you always wanted to be because you're telling yourself on a daily basis, I'm there, man. Take the noise out of your life. Easy. Do the meditation, do the yoga, do saunas and stuff like that. Things that are affordable and take the noise out, man. If you've got more than 3 people in your inner circle, you've got too many.
Ooh.
You've got one person there that wants to destroy you. Hey, who do you think he is, Rob? Look at him on stage. I don't like them pants he's wearing. Which always makes me smile because I had a so-called friend a year ago. He came to me and he said, "Hey, do you know what Johnny said about you?" He said, "You're a big head, you're ego stuff on stage, and you're a waste of time." And I said, "Hey, ask me a question. So let me ask you a question. Why does that guy feel comfortable telling you that?
Mm.
Why haven't you got my back?" You see, when I go place, say, Janet, I want to stop you there. I want to stop you right there. Because if you're going to say anything negative, you've got a problem here. I want them guys behind me that fight the fights when I'm not there. I want them guys around me that lift me up every single day and vice versa. I want them guys going, you had $1,000,000. It's not enough for you, Rob, is it? Come on, you can do better than that. You're amazing. You're fantastic. Nobody knows this, but every time I speak live, not TV, every time I speak live, I get nervous all that day. I'm nervous, and sometimes I'm vomiting, I'm shaking. I get to the venue, and then this is for the last 10 years. My wife sat next to me, my assistant sit this side, and I'm just going to go on. It's 5 minutes before I go on, and the wife, who never curses, leans over every time. I don't know whether I can curse on her, I'm not sure, but she leans over. You're Dr. Robb effing Kelly. And she sits back, and I go, wow, yeah, yeah, I am. And I pull on that stage and I kill it every single time, because the realization, I'm listening to all the noise around. Who cares? Everyone wants to think that people care. When I walk into a room and close the door, everyone looks around. They're not looking at me. There are better things in there. No one cares what trousers I'm wearing, what glasses I'm. Nobody cares. You've got their own problems going on. Take that noise away from you. Be the guy that people come to be led somewhere. Be that guy. And this is going to make you smile, guys. I don't care who you are or what you're doing. If you're listening to this show, one thing I've learned a long time ago, A, there's no things about circumstances, and B, you're supposed to hear this. And every person I say that to, call me up, ring me up, contact me on Facebook. Oh my God, you were right. It's the way it works. The universe, God, Uncle Jimmy, whatever you want to call it, you're meant to listen to this because it's you I'm talking to. And once we start getting, the business going, then it doesn't become about you. Mm-hmm. It becomes like your employers. It becomes about giving back to the community. Mm-hmm. I got $150,000 back from my own pocket back into communities for poor families, for poor kids. We pay at least 10 schools around us. We pay their lunch there every year, so every kid eats. That's what we do. We donate this, we give that. We're always doing that, man. That's a proper gentleman and entrepreneur. Don't keep it for yourself. You'll never go broke by giving it away, guys. No. You just, your idea is going to come along. That's all. Somebody asked me desperately, and I'll finish. I know I'm going over. Asked me desperately. They came to the house and he asked me for $5,000. And I'm okay. Well, true story. I said, hey, listen, it's a lot of money. Do you need it? He said, I would come to you otherwise, Rob. So we got $5,000 out the bank, and we gave it to him because he said he couldn't pay the rent and he couldn't eat. What he used it for is to get all his guitars out the pawn shop. And they were out, in fancy restaurants on my $5,000. And I had a little resentment, because just for about a minute, because we don't loan money, we give money. I was just expecting, he told me it was for this and he's using it for that. 3 days later, Kesi, we got a mail. Opened the letter. It was a check for $13,000 off the IRS. You always get paid back, man. Always.
Oh, I just got goosebumps. I literally just got goosebumps. Let me tell you, it's so true. It's so true. Every time you give with an open heart, every time you give, you get back. Every time. I'm going to tell you a story here. Years ago, I went to church. I'm in service. And, they always say, give your last. And my last at that moment was $50. I didn't have any more money in my bank account. I didn't have any. I had the $50 in my purse. And I went there that day because I felt like I needed something. Like I needed spirit, I needed the work, I needed something to hold on to, because I was in a place where I just couldn't figure it out. I took the $50 out, and they brought the offering around, and I dropped it in there. I got home and I had $100. I don't know where it came from. I know it wasn't there before I went. But I gave the last that I had, and I came back with more.
Isn't it crazy how that works? You see, I stop at the traffic lights all the time. And if there's a guy in the corner collecting money or begging for money, I give him $20 every time. Either on the top of my visor, I have about $300 there, all in 20s. You give it, we get my so-called friend again was with me. This guy come and give him $20. And my friend said, you know what he's going to do with that, don't you? I said, I hope he's going to buy drugs and alcohol because that's what I would do. You see, it's not about what they do with it. It's about me doing the right thing by giving. What he does with that is none of my concern. None of my concern. But it's the giving with the open heart. Very important. You said that, Kesi. I love that. If you're doing it just to gain money, it doesn't happen. But the universe and God has a way, first of all, of choosing these people to go forward in life. And secondly, knowing quite well it's not about me today. It's about, say, I believe in God, Kesi. And I'll tell you something now. When I get to heaven and St. Peter walks me in front of God, you know one thing he isn't going to ask? How big was that car and that house you had? How much was that watch, that solid gold? How much? He's not going to ask me that. It's going to ask me one thing. How many people did you save? How many people did you help, Rob? And I want a big number. I want a real big number.
Mm-hmm.
If you can have an effect. If you don't think you can change the world, guys, do this tomorrow. You're going to change the world, okay? If you're in a built-up area of people, you see someone coming towards you with sneakers that are nice. I want you to say 2 words to them. Nice sneakers. 2 words. That's all. Nothing more. Oh, thank you, man. Yeah. Turn around and watch him walk away. You're going to look down at sneakers at least 2, 3 times. He just changed his world. Now he goes though, his girlfriend and his wife, or his wife, because he's in a good mood, she's in a good mood. Now you've changed 2 people. Then the mother-in-law calls, and you get the gist. You just change the world by saying 2 words to 1 person. That's how easy it is. You see, we never know what other people are going through, man. A smile, I don't know, a high five. There's this guy, true story. He walked to the Golden Gate Bridge, he threw himself off and he committed suicide. When the police fished him out of the water, they find his ID. He go back to his apartment looking for next of kin so they can call. What they found there was a letter on the kitchen table, and it read, I've had enough. I'm going to go to the Golden Gate Bridge. I'm going to throw myself off, commit suicide, unless on the way there, somebody smiles at me, says good morning, because it was an hour's walk, or says anything to me, or nods, or fist bumps. I'll stop right there. I'll turn around, and I'll try again tomorrow. Question, how many people have you walked past today who's heading to the Golden Gate Bridge? Just never know, man. And that smile, that nod, you'll get paid for that. You'll get paid back for that, man. I'm telling you, you'll get paid back for it. Never seen it not happen in 30 years of doing it with my TV stuff and my books and everything. Millions and millions of people are affected. I'll never know that. But today, just one more story real quick because it really helps what I'm saying. My mum and dad died a year or 2 years, 3 years ago. So we went over to empty the house for sale. Me and my friend, my sister, and my friend was doing these pictures. And he said, Rob, quick. And I went, oh, look at this. And it was a black and white picture of me and him who used to be into bodybuilding. I went, oh, look at the waist. Oh, my God, our waist and our arms. Oh, God, we were really attractive those days, weren't we? We looked really good in those days. And my friend said, God, those were the days, Rob. And I don't know why to this day, but I said, but we didn't know that then, did we? And we both stopped and looked at each other. We didn't realize how attractive we were. We didn't realize how great we looked. We didn't realize any of that. What if today's one of those days? And he blew his mind wide open. What if today's one of those days, guys, where you change? What if today one of those days where you pack your real job in and go after your dream and start the empire? What if today? Because we only have today. We haven't got tomorrow, and yesterday's gone. Depression, yesterday. Anxiety, tomorrow. That's how our brain works. What if today is one of those days?
Oh, Dr. Robb Kelly. Oh, let me tell you, I love it. How can they get in touch with you, find you, your books? Please share everything that you have with our audience.
Okay, guys, so if you're listening, not watching, I spell my name with 2 B's, ROBBKELY.com is the website. Dr. Robb Kelly in any search engine will come up. If you want to work with us or me, just get in contact, just send a message on Facebook or email me, rob@robkelly. Don't forget 2 B's, first of all. Secondly, this beautiful book that I have, that's my daughter. She was taken away from me 34 years ago now. and I'm not seeing her since. The last thing she said to me was, "Daddy, Daddy, please stop drinking." Okay, and I couldn't. That's when I became homeless. I went, and that girl called me, messaged me 4 years ago after 30 years, and she said, "Dad, I've just seen you on TV. I don't believe what they were telling me all these years. I want to see you. I've got something to show you." So we have people around us, as you can imagine. So within 2 hours, we're on a jet heading towards the UK. We get there in a hotel, nervous, but the next morning comes, I'm crying with my wife, I don't know I can do this. I've been such a bad dad. And we get to the door and I literally couldn't knock. I was that much in fear. And she opened the door and we fell into each other's arms and we cried and we laughed. And she grabbed my hand and she walked me into her living room and she handed me my 3-month-old granddaughter. That's part of the journey, man. But I tell you, don't go to Amazon, please. I got 5 books just for this show. Okay. If you message me or Kesi, say you want a free book, I'll sign it personally to you. I'll pay for the book. I'll pay for the shipping. We'll ship it out to you free of charge. It'll be yours on one condition. You give it to somebody else who might enjoy it. And there's pictures there of when I was bodybuilding. So you'll see what I was talking about and plenty of. But yeah, awesome.
Everyone, I will put the links below in our YouTube channel. Reach out to me, reach out to Dr. Robb Kelly. This has been an amazing, mind-blowing episode. I cannot wait. I'm excited. I'm excited.
That's
I'm
the
excited.
podcast ever, Kesi.
I know. I'm excited for their I'm excited for their transformation. I'm excited for the things that are about to happen in the people who's listening's lives. I'm excited for their growth. I'm excited that they're going to sit at the edge of their bed after hearing this and they're going to take those deep breaths and they're going to be brushing their teeth with both hands and they're going to be doing it and they're going to message us back and say, "Hey, these are the results that I had. Thanks for changing my life."
So I'll do one thing I've never done on a podcast before is if you're at home and this really resonates with you and you don't know where to go, what to do, and you tried everything, all the conferences, and you're ready to change, can't believe I'm doing this. Here's my personal phone number, 214-600-0210, if you want to work with me. Also, if you're in that place where everybody's left because of whatever, you sat in that, bedroom all alone and you're thinking about something silly, call that number, man. I will give you a 10 to 50-minute pep talk that will change your life. And if it doesn't, I'll send you $100 for wasting your time.
Wow. 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 Okay. Wow. Dr. Kelly. Guys, Dr. Kelly. You have to get with Dr. Kelly. Thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thank you so much, Kesi. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've enjoyed this podcast. And like I say, I do thousands. It's like, I get to a podcast, no problems, I enjoy it. But we're going to be BFFs, girl. I'm telling you now.
Love it.
You have a great night.
Aw, thank you so much. Thank you so, so much.